Thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting me to present today. And I'd like to bring together a number of the themes that we've talked about today in terms of medical device regulations, but also importantly, how we can support digital health applications to really kind of scale and to get into the market. How can we kind of support those? And it's very obvious that there is a digital opportunity. We can see that 93% of healthcare workers see the benefit of digital health. We know that age is no longer a barrier to being able to access technology. And we can see that there's over 5 million people downloading a digital application on a daily basis. So we know that the digital opportunity is there. We can see some governments, some organizations really embracing it. But when we have a look at the number of applications on the market, we can see there's 365,000 digital health products to choose from, and over 250 new ones coming onto the market every single day. So how do we know which are safe, effective, and suited to the citizens that we're trying to help? How do we expect healthcare workers, organizations to be able to recommend those applications, to be able to find the right ones, and to be able to actually be able to prescribe, recommend, or provide and commission those solutions? Imagine if the same were true of medication. Right now, we would not dream of prescribing a medication without the necessary infrastructure in place. But right now, what we have is digital health suppliers turning up to hospitals, turning up to health systems and saying, hey, I've got the best new application on the market. Would you like to buy it? That wouldn't happen with any other kind of form of treatment, intervention, or support. So why are we expecting digital health to be different? And in fact, if we have a look at some of the mistakes we're making, every other area of intervention has the necessary infrastructure in place to be able to know which products, which interventions, which treatments to recommend and when. So if we take the UK as an example and we take prescription medication, there's 20,000 prescription medications. And yet for those 20,000, we have the MHRA to be able to license and approve drugs. We have the National Institute for Clinical Excellence to be able to kind of recommend and find out which have the right effectiveness and impact. We have the British National Formulary, a book where you can see which drugs you should be prescribing and recommending in which circumstances, the indications, the contraindications, etc. And now we have e-prescribing to be able to distribute those to as many people as possible to get the right prescriptions into the right hands as fast as possible. Yet none of this infrastructure exists for digital health. We're expected not for 20,000 prescription medications, but for 365,000 digital products to be able to kind of recommend and find those high quality solutions. But what we do know is that only 20% of those 365,000, just 20%, meet any benchmark for quality and criteria, which means that 80% of those products are at best ineffective and at worst dangerous. So how do we get that digital infrastructure to get that 20% into the right hands, to the right people? Well, we need that infrastructure, as I said. We need trust. So we need that regulatory infrastructure, digital health standards. But having a standard doesn't solve the problem. You need to be able to assess at scale. So when we think about kind of the assessments at scale, we obviously have Germany and DiGA, and they've assessed about 100 products, and just 24 have made it onto final and temporary listing. There's 24 in the last 18 months. If you have the right technology, you can do 400 to 500 per month, not 24 and 18. And there's been 20,000, I believe, around 20,000 digital prescriptions in Germany. And yet, in some products in the UK, one product will have over 40,000 in a month. So we need that infrastructure. So we need that awareness, the assessment and training at scale. We need the digital formularies so that people can prescribe and recommend at source. And we need the governance, because when you assess a product on day one, we know it's going to go through upgrades, product upgrades and new versions. We know that scheme and standards change over time. So we need that constant surveillance and monitoring. And we need the right reimbursement processes as well. So we need all of these 4 critical elements in place. We need to kind of take all of the learnings from other areas and apply it to digital health. It's no different. It's just a new delivery approach. And it all starts with trust. It starts with trust by recognizing that there are multiple types of apps around there. Some are medical devices, some are digital therapeutics, but only 5 to 20% of kind of digital products are therapeutics. What about the other 80%? Those are information, signposting, their workflow. And so how do we assess those? We need to move beyond just digital therapeutics because those other applications have a real role to play. So we need to understand the different types of applications and have a proportional assessment. We need to move beyond just regulations in terms of compliance with, say, GDPR or medical device. We need to kind of have a look at privacy, security, whether ISO 27001, Cyber Essentials, Cyber Essentials Plus, OWASP. But we need to move beyond just those compliance and regulations to look at user experience and critically clinical assurance, having a look at the evidence and impact of those solutions. And we can see that there are multiple frameworks around the world. And ORCA has helped create and design some of those criteria, and we assess. We've done more assessments than any other organization in the world. So we've done over 17,000 unique assessments, assessing over 7,000 digital products. And we need that scale and pace. And this is kind of where we work with governments and organizations to really turbocharge that infrastructure place by being able to kind of have the technology in place to really speed up those assessments, etc. But also to be able to kind of have those digital formularies. And here are just some of the schemes that we've helped kind of work with. There's many more beside that. And what you can see with these schemes is many overlap with one another. So actually, if you have one scheme, you're probably a large percentage towards the others. So we do need some globalization here to be able to support digital products to kind of scale across multiple territories. And this again is where technology can have a place. So this is ORCA's kind of unique technology. We have access to data on over 286,000 products. The rest of those that make up the 365 are no longer viable apps. So 286,000, 17,000 unique assessments, 5,000 peer-reviewed academic journals in our database. And so we can bring all of that technology together to help organizations assess at speed and scale with our review engine, but then to distribute that with a digital formulary. And we need that digital formulary so that healthcare workers can prescribe at scale. They're not just kind of giving out a piece of paper or waving their mobile phones at someone. And then we need the data and insights. So we do lots of market scanning and horizons. And that activation and assurance is really key to be that top layer of that infrastructure. And so just a little bit to kind of end on what we do. As I've mentioned, we work across 12 leading healthcare countries and many more. And with 17,000 assessments, 500 individual assessment components, and we work across 70% of the NHS regions in the UK, but also further afield as well. So I'm aware of time, but so I will end with this one, that now is the time to do this. Now is the time to get this right. Now is the time to build that critical digital infrastructure if we are going to kind of turbocharge digital health. Thank you.